All right, family. We live once again with the general. You know it's about to be fire. We got a powerful presentation today. Christmas is right around the corner, and we're gonna be talking about some of the mythologies that people keep hid in the closet. We're gonna bring it out today. Buckle in, King Krampus, the older brother of Santa Claus. I know y'all gonna you be cringing about that. Y'all love you some Santa Claus. But anyway, before we get started, family, I want to make sure y'all check out my Patreon. Over 500 exclusive live streams. Y'all already know what it is. You feel what I'm saying? You know that's fire. All subjects, a lot of them too raw for YouTube. You need that in your life. KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official General Seti products, DVDs, T-shirts, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry. Get over there. The link is right there in the chat and the video description. Get you something nice. Also, become a member of General Seti, Sara Seti's YouTube page, and get access to very exclusive videos. And please like the video, give it a thumbs up, like it because you love it, share it with your family and friends, comment, just don't say anything stupid because you will get banned. You feel me? Here we go. King Krampus, the older brother of Santa Claus. Now, in studying these mythologies, especially these European mythologies, the goat god is very prevalent in these European cultures. You see, where regardless whether it's the Thor, he's a goat guy. Meaning he got a cart that he pulls him through the sky. Got two goats pulling his cart. You got Pan, the primordial goat god of all goat gods, and so many of these other archetypes, Krampus, which we're gonna be discussing today, for news, the Roman goat god, Serenius, Celtic, Druid god, deer god, and they all tend to come out of that Pan lineage, and that's very concerning, knowing the legacy of Pan. You see, just a deviant in all aspects, and so when you begin the Baphomet is Satan. You see, is also archetypes of Pan, and so when we get off into this Krampus thing, and it has become more famous in America than a lot of people would think, because it originally it was a European, but so was Santa Claus. Not Santa Claus in particular, but Santa Claus. That's Dutch for Santa Claus. So that's what Santa Claus come out of, and some of the YULE traditions with the Viking gods, Odin and Thor, and you can see that right there in the days of the week, and we're gonna talk about that. So they are highly venerated in America, and because we understand that America is an extension of Britain, okay, is an extension. That's their mother. In many respects, Rome is the mother of Britain, okay, Britannia, okay, and so after the Romans left Britain, the Vikings came in. Okay, the Vikings came in, and so it's like a dual parentage between the Romans and the Vikings, and so you get a lot of the Greco-Roman in real time. You see, in real time. That's why when you go to these capitals and you go to DC and you go to the Capitol, you will see that the Capitol building is a manifestation of the Parthenon in Rome. When you look at the dome and you see the Vatican is also a form, a special type of structure where all around the world, amongst the Europeans, they venerate that particular building. You see, and so you see it in the Capitol buildings and also the cathedral in Britain, which is probably older than all the, other dome structures as far as, the European lineage. And so you see that through symbolism, you can see that they still connected to Rome, they still connected to the Vikings. And so they have brought the Krampus story to America, and very quietly, Krampus night has gotten much bigger, where it's almost on the DL, like booming. It's like a Halloween and Chris at Christmas time now. And so some people have it like in Europe, they have Krampus night is December 5th. So it's already passed. But in December, I mean, people is having it on all types of dates. You see, having it on all types of dates during December. And so if you might be surprised to find out that there were celebrations of this goat god Krampus in your city. Okay. Now, who is Krampus? And a lot of people, if you can most definitely go on Tubi, you can most definitely go on Tubi. This god actually was venerated during the winter celebrations of the Europeans, especially the Alpine Europeans. You see, you talking about the Switzerland, Denmark, I believe Finland, Norway, up in that area, highly venerated, and they still worship the Krampus through what they call the Yule goat. Okay, the Yule goat. Hold on, just a second, fam. So they got the Yule goat, and they in Switzerland they had this giant goat, effigy, and it be, I think it's made out of straw, whatever it's made out of. And almost every year they burn it down. So I ain't gonna say every year, but they somebody go out there and light it up, and it catch on fire. And I believe it's some type of giant ritual that they do. Now let's look at who Krampus is, because and again, you can go to Tubi. Tubi got a lot of Krampus, and then matter of fact, they finally brought one out on a major at the movies, and so you probably can go on Netflix and see the probably the better quality. But some of the other ones on Tubi, Tubi can be kind of weird and cheap. But some of them, they put when they have less money, they try to go all in and show it like it, they would show it, in real time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and you can see what it really is. And so, okay, who is Krampus? Okay, who is Krampus? Krampus is a horned, demonic looking being, often depicted with goat horns. Okay, long tongue and fangs, fur covered body, chains, bells, and a bundle of birch rods. And that's, he was seen whooping children. So many of these earlier okay characters that when we talk about this winter celebration, that the Europeans, a lot of them, they were looked at as enforcers, meaning if the children was out of line, even the adults, you see, they could end up in a sack and carried off to hell somewhere, and that's real talk, even the adults. And so many of these, the winter celebration wasn't, as children oriented today, then as it is today. A lot of people, the kids was kind of nervous, around that time. because if they had been bad, then characters like Krampus could just take them off, kidnap them, throw them in the bag. Many times you see the pictures where the parents right in there while the Krampus throwing them, throwing the kids in the bag, and they looking like, okay, go ahead. You feel me? And so his role is simple: punish or abduct misbehaving children. In contrast to Saint Nicholas, who rewards the good children. Okay. So you got your good, you got Saint Nicholas or Santa Claus, and then you got Krampus. They come together, and so the kids that's good, Saint Nicholas will give you something, and Krampus, if you was bad, Krampus would whoop you. Got the little, give you a little whoop and throw you in the bag and carry you off. You see, and for them, they probably didn't care no damn way. But anyway, how long has Krampus been venerated? Krampus traditions go back at least 1,000 to 1,500 years. So he's older than Santa Claus. See, they were already into the goat. They were already into Krampus. Okay. And much earlier than the veneration of Santa Claus and Santa Claus. Okay. And some say, and likely much earlier. Okay, pre-Christian origins. Most scholars trace Krampus to pre-Christian Alpine paganism, possibly connected to horned nature spirits, underworld, or winter demons. So it's crazy how, and I was going over to how many of these winter demons that they got. You got Percha, and then you got the other one. What's her name? Gryla. You see, you got all these demonic entities, and you can go on again, Tubi, because these people got all these underground movies that Tubi are showing, and so a lot of them Europeans that made the mother of Krampus, which they call Percha, and she'll make Krampus run off. He'll take if Krampus sing Percha, Frau Percha, he go running because she more ruthless than he is. You see, she more ruthless than he is. Okay, so these bands were part of seasonal rites meant to mark the winter solstice, drive away evil spirits, reinforce moral behavior in the community. So you got to have a goat demon, terrorize you so that you was had morality, so you need the goat demon to do that. The horn appearance strongly resembles ancient fertility and wilderness spirits, not originally Christian demons. Okay. Matter of fact, I can put this up here so y'all can get able to see some of this. Let me see. Matter of fact, let me get my comments in there. It's already in there. Let me get this up here so y'all can actually see some of this information. I know some of y'all probably done snuck off already to the Krampus night. Y'all probably already been to the Krampus night. You see, you have. You out of pocket. Okay. So how did Krampus become connected to Christmas? Christian adaptation, Christianization process. Uh, when Christianity spread through Alpine Europe, 8th to 12th century, the church often did not erase local customs, instead reframed them. So what they did, they added, they didn't get rid of a lot of that. Even the Thor and the Odin, that became Santa Claus. You see, that became Santa Claus. They create a saint that immortalized that particular God, and many times what the saint that they create look almost exact to the God, so that it satisfies the people, and then that way it's a bridge for them to bow down to Catholicism. So it's easier for them to adapt to people's culture, Catholicize it, you see, and repackage it, and allow the people to continue to celebrate long as they bring them ducats and they bow down and kiss the ring of the Pope. I mean, when it's time, then that's what the Catholics would do. Okay. And so Krampus was paired with Saint Nicholas or Santa Claus. You see, Santa Claus. And so that was what, the Dutch version of Santa Claus. And uh so even that, you can see it comes from the European culture. And so Saint Nicholas reward order, holiness. Krampus is punishment, chaos, fear. So the parent allowed the church to keep local traditions alive, channel pagan fear figures into a Christian moral framework. Okay. And so I don't know how they explain this Krampus night shit, because that's some real crazy stuff. You feel me? Yeah, that's some real crazy stuff. And so Krampus night celebrated on December 5th. And I bet you if you check your city, that they had Krampus night, especially if you in them northern cities. Especially if you're in them northern cities, you best believe that they done tapped in. And so the night before St. Nicholas Day, which is December 6th, young men dressed as Krampus and roam the streets wearing masks. Okay. And they had what they call the Krampus run. And this tradition survived strongly in Austria and Bavaria today, and is one of the oldest living winter rituals in Europe. Why did I bring? Because it's here, right here. It's right in America today. So these people, that's their family over there, and so slowly but surely, see, they just really start, because they know you open now. They know you willing to accept anything that they throw at you. You see, you ready to celebrate anything that they whatever they celebrate, you celebrate. And so some things they leave here until they think you ready to accept it. And so when I was first doing Krampus, I didn't think they was over here like that. I don't think so, because I've been touching on Krampus now probably 20, 25 years. And so when I first started talking about Krampus, they wasn't over here like that yet. And and quietly, even under my radar, they start, because you know how they do, they had their little secret things first. They little underground, probably with the more Wiccan type peoples, those that are cultish and things of that nature. They are tried on them. And once it get to popping and people become more interested, and they're gonna play on it. They're gonna give you a little parade, make it less demonic in a sense, but not really, but make it more like Halloween in December. And they all right with it. Nah, it's bigger than you would believe right here. And saying that Krampus night is probably gonna become one of the bigger holidays in the United States very soon. Please believe it. Okay, it's gonna become where people gonna be doing their little Krampus thing in December, and next year you might have the goat mask on. We might see you doing the Krampus run. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, we might see you doing the Krampus run. But so so he was Krampus always evil? They say no. Originally, Krampus was more of a moral enforcer, boundary figure between chaos and order, winter spirit, not Satan. Okay, so It says the church later demonized his appearance, associating horns and fur with hell imagery, something that happened to many pagan figures. So suppression and revival. The Catholic Church attempted to ban Krampus several times in the 15th through 19th century. Fascist regimes in Austria also suppressed Krampus traditions. Revival in the 20th century, exploding globally in the 21st century. See what I'm saying? Horror films. See, horror films. Matter of fact, let me take that out of here so I can see clearly. So yeah, horror films, popular culture. I mean, countercultural, countercultural Christmas celebrations. That's shit like YULE, you feel me? And just people want to be their pagan self. They want to be their pagan self today. They tired of, playing games with the church, and they want to go back to when they was, out there in the woods. They want to be their old foresty self. You feel me? And so in short, origin pre-Christian alpine pagan winter spirit. Now, a lot of this is in your Christmas. It has nothing to do. It's the Yule celebration. That Nordic Viking celebration they call Yule. That's what the 12 days of Christmas, the Yule log, Krampus, even that tree, even that tree veneration that come out of Germany. You see, a lot of this, and you have to be careful because if you don't pay attention, you venerating something that you don't even know what you already got enough dealing with the Bible you don't know about. And then so you stacking all these ideas on top of each other, and you have no you just open. You see, but won't do no type of veneration of nothing African or black, but you'll partake in all these European celebrations almost every day, every holiday you in. You in like Flynn. Okay. And so that's very, very that's serious. Because they can put anything on you and you won't know. They're just like dropping a spiritual Mickey in your drink. And then when you finally realize you're already drunk, you see, and now you all messed up. You see, so you have to watch. Got to watch. And so in short, pre-Christian Alpine winter spirits likely over 1,000 years, possibly older. Christmas connection, Christian adaptation alongside St. Nicholas' purpose, enforce morality, embody winter's dangers, and balance reward and punishment. You see, now I also asked, and I clearly asked, is Krampus night in America? And it says yes. Krampus night does exist in America, but it's modern, revived, and cultural, not an ancient tradition like in Europe. Okay, is Krampus night traditionally American? No. This is on December 5th. It's not indigenous to American folklore. It comes from the Alpine Central Europe, Austria, Bavaria, Slovenia. And so if they can go and adopt, what's wrong with y'all? Well, y'all can't adopt nothing African, but y'all can adopt everything from everywhere else, but you can't adopt nothing African. That just don't make no sense to me. It just don't make no sense. Is Krampus night celebrated in America today? Yes, increasingly so, especially since the 2010s. You see that? I didn't even know it, even though I had been talking about Krampus And I looked up and did some research like last year. And when I went in, man, they had Krampus night all over the United States. And when you go on there, they had websites where they was really doing it big. And I said, oh, they didn't really blew up under the radar. So yeah, it's increased. So in the United States, Krampus night appears as parades and street events. See, they already bar crawls, costume gatherings, art and counterculture festival. You see that? Art and counterculture festival. So you're gonna get a lot of, you know what? When it says counterculture, you already know you're gonna have some weird things going on at Krampus night. You're gonna have some weird old things going on. So just know it. So if you go and you don't know who you could be talking to. They'll have a mask on, and that's why they call it masquerade, mask queer raid. So you go right on ahead and go to Krampus night. And when you wake up, somebody dropped a Mickey on you, and you wake up and you don't know what happened to you. They do the Bill Cosby on you, then you gonna know. It's gonna be too late then. So I want y'all to wake up out there, family. Just to let y'all know, we did this to, because a lot of traditions that you are practicing during these holidays have nothing to do with what you think you believe in. Okay, so when you really take the time, but some of you don't even care, and that just show you you just a zombie. People can just say and tell you to do, and you do. That's all, and you do. But anyway, family, thank you for being here. Make sure you get over there to Patreon, click that link, and we got a powerful, powerful day today. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back, family, with some more fire. Let me see if any of the family out there. You said you was studying. Homesteading. Okay. You was studying homestead. We'll come right back and we'll talk about it. This is General Sara Seti saying, boom, black pop.